Hey everybody, today's video brings us out to my hometown, which is something I definitely wish I wasn't saying to you guys today. In fact, I wish I wasn't doing this video at all today because today's video is not gonna be a happy one. In fact, kids, if you're watching, you've been warned, today's topic is not a happy topic at all. I live in a quiet little town that's about, I'd say, an hour or so outside of Philadelphia. So occasionally we have some crimes here, but nothing too major. Just maybe a car broken into or a house broken into or something like that. Some domestic squabbles. But for the most part, nothing really crazy happens in this quiet little town. But yesterday, that all completely changed. Something happened that definitely rocked this town yesterday, and I had no idea what was going on at first. I actually headed out to pick up my son from school, and as I drove up the street 1 block away from my house, I noticed a huge congregation of people standing around looking at something. I noticed a whole bunch of news vans as well, and then I start noticing news helicopters circling around ahead, and I'm thinking, what is going on? What could possibly be happening that's this newsworthy in my little town? And in fact, I was thinking things positive. I thought maybe they're going to take down the old smokestack right there that's no longer used. I thought something like that was probably happening here in my hometown. Turns out that was not the case. It was something much worse. And the more I started to think about it, the more I started to fear that I may have actually known what was happening. And sure enough, my fears were confirmed, and what I thought might have happened actually did happen here again in my little quiet hometown, which is just mind-blowing and just crazy. So 2 weeks ago, a local resident, Jennifer Brown, actually went missing. She lived in the next town over, maybe about a 2-minute drive from where I live. She never showed up to pick her son up from school. She was supposed to go to the bus stop, pick her son up from school. Never happened. Nobody knew where she was. Why did she not pick her son up? Her and her son were very close. Not like her to just not show up to pick up her son from school. So they did some searching. They looked around. They found her car actually in her driveway with all her belongings still inside. Her work phone was inside. Her keys were inside. Her purse was inside. The only thing missing apparently was actually her cell phone. That was the only thing they did not find. But everything else, all her belongings were still inside her car. So where did she go? She clearly didn't drive anywhere. She probably didn't go anywhere because all her belongings, her purse and whatnot, all her major belongings were still inside of the car. So what could have possibly happened to her? And at that point, everybody started fearing that maybe something not so good had happened to her. There's some actual flowers right here that somebody laid down. That's because right behind this building last night, unfortunately, the body of Jennifer Brown was actually found, which is kind of crazy because I have spent so much of my childhood playing right down here, right behind this building, right here in this little kind of like alleyway right there. We used to sled down this hill a whole lot as a kid. I used to play behind this building a lot as a child, and it's kind of crazy to think that yesterday they actually found a body back there, which is just insane, not just because of the fact that there was a body back there in general, but because of the fact that it happened here in my quiet little hometown. No trespassing. So pretty crazy. Right now, they're not entirely sure as to who has done it. There's no real suspects or some people who have been questioned. They are questioning some people right now on what has happened. Well, mostly quiet little hometown, sometimes not so quiet, but they're questioning some people right now, trying to figure out what exactly has happened. Over the last 2 weeks, they've been searching for this body. They were combing dumpsters. They apparently went out to the local dump, and they were sifting through the dump. They were kind of thinking it was maybe it was the worst case scenario, unfortunately, because it was very unlikely that she just disappeared. Like, would she just have left her 8-year-old son? Probably not. They were very close. The idea of her just up and leaving her 8-year-old son and running away was not very likely. So people were kind of fearing the worst. And like I said, they were combing the dumpsters. They were combing the actual dump. They were looking for the possible signs of her body or just any clues whatsoever. And they weren't coming up with anything. They've been questioning people, not really coming up with anything. There are a few suspects, I don't want to say suspects, but a few people maybe that are raising some eyebrows. There were some maybe shady business dealings or something like that. She was trying to open up a restaurant with a business partner from what I was reading, and apparently they were having issues with the loan, and now the business partner is, I'm guessing, a suspect, or at least they were questioning him anyway. I have no idea. I'm not pointing any fingers. I have no idea who done it, but hopefully we will eventually figure out who did this horrible, awful, terrible crime here, which is just again, is just nuts and has completely rocked this community. Can't believe what actually happened here. So the fact that a body was actually found only 1 block away from where I live completely blows my mind. That is not something I ever thought in a million years I would be able to say, that a body was found a block away from my house. The house I have lived in my entire life, the house I grew up in this small little community, there was an actual body found only a block away. They actually found her body buried underneath a staircase in a shallow grave. I don't know how they were tipped off or how they actually found it or who found it. I'm not entirely sure, but that's what happened. Her body was in a shallow grave underneath a staircase behind this building right here. A staircase that, again, as a kid, I actually used to play on. And that's what, again, this strikes way too close to home. The fact that it happened here in my childhood community, right by my house, and the fact that it was in an area that, as a child, before a new company came in here and put up all these no trespassing signs, an area that I used to play in a lot as a child. Again, just really, really crazy to think about. So when I came up here yesterday, nothing had been confirmed yet. Everybody was saying, oh, they found her body, they found Jennifer's body, but nothing had been actually confirmed. That is until we started to notice people in hazmat suits, and the coroner showed up, and it was not looking too good. We started seeing shoveling going on. We started seeing photographs being taken, and then sure enough, they brought out a gurney, a stretcher, and we thought, okay, this cannot be good. And then the next thing we know, we actually saw a body on the stretcher, which was pretty crazy. Now, we didn't actually see the actual body. What we actually ended up seeing was the body that was wrapped in plastic. Apparently, her body had been wrapped in plastic and then buried behind this building underneath the stairwell. And we did see the actual body in plastic on the gurney put into the coroner's van, which was nuts. What also was nuts is the incompetence of the news crews, because they were all standing out here with their cameras, and the reporters were out here. They were doing stuff on their phones. I guess they were writing up reports or something. I don't know. I guess it's all about, getting your story out first. They were probably writing out the reports and sending it back to the actual studio or whatever. I have no idea, but they're all doing whatever they're doing on their phones as we're all standing around watching this horrible tragedy unfold and the body being brought out and whatnot. And like, we're all seeing this and we're all gasping and going, oh my gosh, I can't believe what's happening and what we're actually seeing here. As the news reporters and the cameras aren't even filming it. They're not even looking at it. They're not even talking about it. It's really crazy. In fact, I ended up having to look over at one of the reporters and I said, you see what's happening here, right? They just brought the body out. And the reporter's like, what? Oh my gosh, what? They brought the body out? They did. And she ran over to her camera guy and I'm like, how are you not noticing this? How are we noticing this? But you're not noticing this, which is kind of weird. And the news. Anyways, so crazy, just awful, terrible story here that happened. Some of you guys did ask about this, if I knew about the story. And yes, I had known about the fact that she had gone missing, that Jennifer had gone missing. I knew about that story. And then some of you guys also left comments yesterday saying, hey, did you hear she was found? And yes, again, I live a block away. I definitely heard about what had unfortunately happened. She was found right back here, right behind this building. Right back here is where she was found, underneath the stairwell. All yesterday, this is all completely roped off with police tape, and there was lots of cops and buildings, and that guy keeps, you've locked your car. Maybe he's trying to interrupt me. I have no idea. So lots of police tape out here, and her body was actually found right back there underneath the stairwell back there, where, again, as a kid, I actually used to play. We used to play behind this building, hide behind this building, play in the woods, play in the factory back here. It all happened right there. Now people are just out here going to work, going about their daily business, which is crazy. This guy right here, probably another looky-loo, talking about what had happened out here. So again, Jennifer Brown, her body was unfortunately found. I say unfortunately, but I guess at the same time, maybe it was good because nobody had any idea what had happened to her. Everybody was kind of, people were holding out hope, but everybody was kind of assuming the worst since 2 weeks had passed and nobody knew where she was and everything looked kind of shady and very suspect that, again, all of her belongings were still in her car and that she hadn't reported back to anybody and she had left her 8-year-old son. So it wasn't looking good. People were, again, holding out hope, but kind of fearing for the worst. So it's at least good that her body was found and we have at least a few more answers. We at least now have her body, and now we can start more of an investigation and hopefully find out who did this horrible crime and bring them to justice, which is definitely something we're all hoping happens. We're also hoping that maybe it was her business partner, or maybe this was a domestic thing, or maybe this happened by somebody she knows. And as terrible as that sounds to say, as horrible as it is to say that we hope it was this person, or we hope it was that person, what we definitely hope is that it wasn't some just random killer. We don't want it to be some random guy out on the loose just going around killing women. That would be terrible. So as horrible as it does sound to say, oh, I hope it, was somebody she knew, as terrible as that sounds to say, I think we're all kind of hoping that it ends up being the case, because if it is just some random guy who's just going around and abducting women and killing them and burning them in town, that would clearly be a very bad thing. And if they didn't catch that person, then, nobody would be really safe to walk around. In fact, just me being out, I don't know, me being out here just walking around maybe wouldn't be the safest thing. Who knows? My wife would be terrified to ever go anywhere again with my son without me. So we sort of in a weird, strange, kind of bizarre way, kind of hope maybe it was the business partner, or was somebody she knew, was somebody she was close to. That's usually the case. That's usually how these things go. I'd say 9 times out of 10, it's not just some crazy person who's going around killing people. It usually is somebody you know. So maybe. We'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. The investigation is ongoing. The body has been found, but the killer, not quite yet. At least as of this recording, nobody has been arrested yet. Nobody has been brought into custody. No killer has yet been found. But my guess is, it's the year 2023. Getting away with a crime these days, kind of slim chances you're gonna get away with a crime these days. So most likely, in time, somebody will be caught and somebody will be brought to justice, which is something we're all definitely hoping for, because it's a horrible, sad tragedy, something that did not need to happen, something that should not have happened, but it did happen, unfortunately. So, all right, guys, just wanted to report in with you guys, let you guys know that I did know about this story, and I did want to tell you guys about this story because it's a crazy story. The fact that it happened here in this little town, in my hometown, literally 1 block away from where I live. A story that has definitely hit way too close to home. Yesterday, all this was, again, like I said, it was all roped off. They had big tarps up, strung up in the trees down here, so you couldn't actually see into where this was going on. All happened right down there, right down there, where everybody's down there working right now. Right around the corner, behind this building right here, is where Jennifer's body was unfortunately discovered. Again, crazy, awful, terrible, horrible story. But hopefully in a week or so, or a couple weeks, or eventually I can do an update for you guys and tell you that her killer was caught and that he's been brought to justice. And that'll at least be, I don't want to say a happy ending, but at least a better ending to this story. Right now, though, the killer is still on the loose, and that is concerning. Hopefully we do find out who did it. So anyway, guys, with that, we are done. So as always, guys, again, sorry for the downer of a video, but I just had to talk about this today because it was such a crazy thing that did happen. But all right, guys, so be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, check down below for links to Patreon, check down below for links to Spreadshirt. Both proceeds, both from Spreadshirt and from Patreon, do go to help with the videos. I really do appreciate it. So all right, guys, that's it. So like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you do hit that subscribe button, or you are subscribed, then I will see you in tomorrow's video, hopefully with a video that has a much brighter, much happier topic. Or maybe tomorrow, I'll tell you, they got the killer. Who knows? All right, I'll see you guys next video. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.